Well, the National Council of Educational Research and Training has updated the Class 8 Social Science textbook to include detailed references to religious intolerance and violence during the Delhi Sultanate and Mughal periods. Babur is described as a brutal and ruthless conqueror, while Akbar's rule is portrayed as a blend of brutality and tolerance. Aurangzeb is noted for ordering the demolition of temples and gurudwaras. These changes that now mark a shift in how Mughal-era history is being introduced to students. To address the sensitivity of such content, NCERT has added a disclaimer titled "A Note on Some Darker Periods in History," which states no one should be held responsible today for events of the past. The note appears aimed at discouraging communal interpretations.
Social Science textbook grade 8 part 1. This has recently been released and is going to be used in this academic year. The chapter 2 in the theme B starts with a note on history's darker periods, so which mentions how these chapters of Indian history have been darkest hours for the country. And, as historians, they face a dilemma on why we should be giving attention to such dark periods and should we omit them completely, from the syllabus. Over here, they also speak about how the reigns of the Mughals that came, in that they have also spoken about how there were rulers who were so brutal. For example, mentioning Babur here, Babur in India in this paragraph that mentions how Babur was known by the Babur Namas, his memoirs, where he was shown as a culturally and intellectually active individual. But the book mentions how he was also a brutal and ruthless conqueror, slaughtering entire populations of cities, enslaving women, children, taking pride in erecting towers of skulls made from slaughter of people and plundered cities. Then we talk about Akbar, where Akbar ordered the massacre of 30,000 civilians in Chittorgarh, and surviving women and children were enslaved. We are also looking at the description of Aurangzeb, where it is once again mentioned how Aurangzeb ended up destroying temples at Banaras, in Mathura, Somnath, and among many others, as well as Jain and Sikh gurudwaras were also attacked and destroyed by Aurangzeb. So not just his teachings or learnings, but also the way he governed at that point is being brought to light.
NCERT is an independent organization. It should work out the syllabus, it should decide the textbooks on the basis of scientific temperament, which we agree as far as education is concerned, on the basis of secular democracy that country is following today. And the NCERT should not come under any pressure from any authority, including the state government or other government.
सबसे पहले यह पढ़ाया जाना चाहिए कि बाहर के जो आक्रांता आए सबके सब सफल क्यों हो गए। भारत का इतिहास पराजय का इतिहास है, जाति व्यवस्था की वजह से। तो जाति व्यवस्था से ज़्यादा क्रूर कुछ नहीं हो सकता। मुग़ल की ब्रुटलिटी हो, ब्रिटिश की ब्रुटलिटी है, कुछ भी नहीं है। आज भी जो ब्रुटलिटी चल रही है, आज भी मंदिर में घुसने नहीं देते, हत्या बलात्कार तो आम बात है, और छुआछूत आम बात है, भेदभाव आम बात है। अगर टोटलिटी में देखा तो जितना ब्रुटलिटी जाति के नाम पर हुआ है उतना चंगेज खान ने भी नहीं किया होगा, हिटलर ने नहीं किया होगा, और मुग़ल क्या करेंगे, आज भी चल रहा है।
NCERT का मतलब नेशनल कम्युनल एजुकेशन सिस्टम। ये सिलेबस की पूरे तोड़ मरोड़ करके जिस तरह हमारे इतिहास को हाईजैक करने की प्रयास कर रहे हैं, एक संकीर्ण पॉलिटिकल एजेंडा को लेकर, ये हमारे बच्चों की, हमारी जनरेशन की पढ़ाई में जो सांप्रदायिकता की बीज डालने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, ये बेहद गलत है।
for those of us who've studied back in the day, understand how we've studied about the Mughal era, about the history in the books that was projected, but lessons in the class 8 book now highlight Mughal brutality. And let me take you through details where Babur is being looked at and studied as brutal and ruthless conqueror who slaughtered city populations and went on to claim so many lives. Akbar, where the projection is slightly mixed, he's been called brutal yet a tolerant ruler who destroyed temples but abolished jizya attacks on non-Muslims. On the other hand, Aurangzeb, who has been called as the ruler who was responsible for temple and Gurudwara demolitions, reinstated the jizya attacks on non-Muslims. Now, what has drawn attention in all of this is the disclaimer that NCERT has added, where the disclaimer that reads, and I quote, "No one today should be blamed for the past." Now, many who are reading into that disclaimer and what it possibly means, because NCERT primarily claiming that this is to stay from any misinterpretation, but the change that has certainly been invoked. Now, why this is also talked about is the fact that there has been a narrative that is being pushed and a supposed Mughal makeover that we have also witnessed over the years. So, you would remember in 2015, the road that was renamed, it was Aurangzeb Road, but in Delhi, this road had been renamed to APJ Abdul Kalam Road. Again in 2018, a railway station that was renamed, that was originally called Mughal Sarai Junction, and later it was renamed to Deen Dayal Upadhyay Junction. And you would also remember the park in President House that has been renamed recently, only 2 years ago in 2023. Famously, we've all known it as the Mughal Gardens, which was changed to Amrit Udyan. So, even as NCERT's fresh lessons in Mughal history that is making waves in the country, the Uttarakhand government, led by Pushkar Singh Dhami, has said that the state government has asked NCERT to include the Bhagavad Gita and the Ramayana in the syllabus of 17,000 government schools. The Uttarakhand government has also said that until the new syllabus is introduced, students will recite verses from these texts during daily prayer sessions. However, the move implemented today has allegedly met with immediate and widespread opposition from the state's teaching community.
अब हमने एक टास्क दिया है अपने एससीईआरटी को कि वो जो है एक सिलेबस तैयार करें जिसमें कि भगवत गीता होगी, रामायण होगी, हमारे बच्चों को पढ़ाया जाएगा। लेकिन अभी जब तक वो सिलेबस में आता है तब तक हमने अपने जितने भी स्कूल हैं उसमें सुबह जितने पीरियड होती है स्कूलों में उसमें भगवत गीता के और रामायण के जो अच्छे श्लोक हैं वो बच्चों को पढ़ाए जाएंगे और ये इसका आदेश भी हमने कर दिया है और बहुत अच्छा बच्चों को भी लग रहा है, टीचर्स को भी लग रहा है, अभिभावकों को भी लगा है।
हमने अपने प्रदेश में जब एनईपी 2020 लागू की तो हमने कहा है कि वह भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा आधारित शिक्षा हमको अपने प्रदेश में देनी है। हमने एससीईआरटी को आदेश दिया है कि वो पाठ्यक्रम ये बनाए कि हमारे बच्चे जो भगवत गीता पढ़ना चाहते हैं, जो रामायण पढ़ना चाहते हैं, वो बच्चे जो है पढ़ सकते हैं।
And cutting across to Ankit Sharma, joining us live from Dehradun. Ankit, it is important to put both these developments into context because the larger issue is about how we want to shape our young minds and what we want them to learn, how we want them to look at history. With regards to this particular diktat of Pushkar Singh Dhami, government pushing for Gita to be taught in schools, how is it being received especially by the teaching community?
Well, it's seen as a good move by talking from the government's perspective. The government is claiming that it's a very good move and it's a revolutionary step taken by the government in order to instill the moral and ethical values in the young students. And this is being introduced with the belief that the Gita shloks will provide it will facilitate the ground for providing principal life in everyone's life when the young students will recite the Gita shloks, and each Gita shlok is to be studied in a week in all government schools, wherein the Teachers Association has protested against this move, and they have asked to to revoke this kind of order, because this violates the Constitution's 28th article, which says that no state-funded school can be provided with a particular can be ordered with a particular with the education of a particular religion, and specifically the religious textbooks. This can be taught in private schools or a religious school as well. However, the government is claiming that under the NEP 2020, which was implemented by the central government in the year 2020, it shows the way that provides moral education for the students in the whole country. The BJP in Uttarakhand is saying that it should not only be limited to Uttarakhand, but should be implemented in schools in all over the country, specifically in the government schools. The opposition is saying that there is a dearth of education system infrastructure in schools in Uttarakhand. There are many schools that are being shut in Uttarakhand, specifically in the higher areas, due to a lack of facilities and reach as well. We see that how students brave the harsh terrain of Uttarakhand's higher altitudes, and they make it to school every day to study basic subjects. Now, when it comes to Gita shloks, it is obviously for any common man, it is going to improve everyone's life. But when it comes to teaching among students, it is creating in a biased way, as seen by the Muslim clerics as well. One of the Islamic scholar has told India Today that such a step would obviously show that Pushkar Singh Dhami, who is the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand,
Right.
he is bound by the constitution, and when he says that Gita Shlok should be studied in the schools
Right.
of Uttarakhand, he is violating the rules and the oath taken by him. Yeah.
All right, we wait and watch how the situation develops in the days to come. For the moment, Ankit, thank you for joining us.